Now turning to South America, Argentina specifically, which allowed the most well-known Nazis into their country after World War II and has now declassified over 1,800 files on the so-called Nazi ratline escape routes. Argentine President Javier Milei ordered the opening of these documents to the public after meeting with leaders of the Simon Wiesenthal Center last month. Joining us by Zoom from Jerusalem is Dr. Efraim Zuroff, a Holocaust historian, former director of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, and a Nazi hunter himself. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated.
Thank you for inviting me.
This is a very, very interesting news. I mean, we know the most infamous architects of the Holocaust found their way to Argentina. They were able to live in anonymously for many decades. We're talking, of course, Adolf Eichmann and the Angel of Death, Joseph Mengele. How, from what we've discovered and know, how were they able to escape to Argentina unscathed?
Well, first of all, there was no problem for them because they had a whole network which was coordinated by an Austrian bishop named Alois Hudel, who was in charge of a seminary in Rome. And he was the one who arranged for all these people to be able to emigrate, to escape to Argentina. In other words, Perón didn't look at these people as perpetrators, but rather as people who lost the war and therefore had to run away. And there were many Germans in Argentina who also supported the Nazis. And Perón also felt that he wanted to raise the intellectual and scientific level of the population, and he thought maybe that they would help in that regard as well.
Right. Well, I mean, given the scientific, Mengele being one of them, I mean, not the kind of doctor most people would want.
First of all, I have to tell you, there was no scientific basis to any of the things that Mengele did in Auschwitz.
Really? Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting to know. So let's talk about these classified documents. I mean, did they reveal anything that we didn't already know?
I'll tell you, I didn't see them. I didn't have an opportunity to see them. And I spoke to friends of mine in Buenos Aires, and they say that quite a few of the documents actually had been released already in 1992. But in terms of justice or bringing people to justice, it's not relevant because almost all these people, the perpetrators, are already dead. The people who helped them are already dead. What we know is that there were two networks that facilitated the escape to South America or the Middle East, by the way. One was, as I said, run by this Alois Hudel, this Austrian bishop, and he offered people a choice between South America, mostly Argentina, but not only Argentina, and the Middle East. He offered him an opportunity to go either to Egypt or to Syria. There was a second network, which was run by a Croatian Ustasha priest, and they sent the people all to Argentina. That's why, for example, Ante Pavelic, who was the head of state of the independent state of Croatia, which launched 3 genocide campaigns against Serbs, against Jews, and against Roma, gypsies. Ante Pavelic went to Argentina. Dinko Šakić, who was one of the commanders of the most horrible, horrific concentration camp built by the Croatian Ustasha, that's Dinko Šakić, and I'm the one who found him. And we got him extradited to Croatia, and he was put on trial and given 20-year sentence. So we know that the main target or the main haven for the Croatians, for the Ustasha, was Argentina.
Wow, that's interesting information. A lot of people don't know. These files being made public. Any ideas on what it will accomplish? Will it just be added to, education within Argentina, around the world, or is it more just so it's available to the public who is interested in learning more?
think it's a boon for historians. So people will be able to see exactly how all of this worked. But I have to say that already years ago, a wonderful book was written by an Argentinian journalist by the name of Uki Goni. He's from Basque origin. That's why this name might sound a little strange to our listeners. But Uki Goni wrote, he had a lot of information, and he in other words, he clarified at least the top people, again, Ayasudel and Kronoslav Dragonovich. And so some of this was already known. But obviously there are things that are not known. And listen, people are curious to see how this all took place. There were so many Nazi war criminals who escaped to South America, and really major Nazi war criminals. We're talking about, as you mentioned, Angel of Death, Mengele, Eichmann, but many others. And others went to other countries in South America, like Klaus Barbie went to Bolivia, Walter Rauff, the one who designed the gas chambers, the what do you call it, the
crematorium?
Oh, the mobile gas chambers, the ones that were used in the Chelmno. And he was the person who was supposed to take over the final solution in Palestine had the Nazis been able to win, in North Africa and then conquer the Yishuv, God forbid.
Wow. Dr. Zuroff, thank you so much. I wish we had more time to be continued. Much appreciated.
Okay, you're welcome.